remember exactly 1 year ago being here, July 28th, 2025, almost exactly at the same time, where we had Samira come in, and I remember my most vivid memory from that day is Samira saying, please come, and if you see me walking around, in the corridors, please come and talk to me, and please interrupt me and say hi. And little did I realize how earnestly you meant that. I feel like since then you've kind of developed and maintained independent relationships with each person at the archives and beyond. I feel like you know the names of everyone's partners, pets, their home addresses and their medical conditions. And that's one sort of abiding memory from from meeting you the first time. And one of the first interactions that we had, as well as maybe more formally, is all of us reading theory together. We read this piece of archival theory, and all of us read. We none of us have a formal background in. None of us are sort of skilled readers of theory in that sense, but we do read a lot of theory, and we treat it, I feel, like medicine. You kind of hold your nose and it's just something to get out of the way. But I remember that day sitting around the table and ragging Taksh also along the way, which was fun. But I remember all of us reading it going through it line by line, section by section. And that's not a way I've ever read theory before. I've just sort of read it as something to get through. And I feel like it reframed the way I read theory now. Since then, we've been reading lots of theory together. Maybe not in as much detail, because I remember we took an hour and a half and got through maybe half of the essay. So but I certainly pay a lot more attention, and I think it reframed for me the way I look at theory, the way I relate to it in my work, and I feel like that's one small example of many ways in which you've reframed things for us at the archives. The way in which we think about even historians and how historians use our work. There have been so many exciting highlights over the year, and just some of them have been the obvious ones, like the Fragments series, where we did a really close reading of material from the archives, where we sat with literally a fragment, a page or a paragraph or a section, and went really, really deep into everything from the marks on the page to the its context. And I don't think any of those fragment sessions ended on time. I think every single one ran over. I don't think anyone wanted to leave or stop doing what they were doing. The historian in the house sessions brought so many really interesting people to those sessions, students particularly, but also I remember someone from public health being in one of the sessions, and we also had Uma. When we were talking about tigers and their representation in history. There have been such a wide range of people that have come, that you have brought in, who have come in for your work. We've also had the really excellent fortune and pleasure of meeting people like Dr. Deepthi Khera, Niraman, Eric Gurevich, so many more. Sendil, it was lovely to have him. We knew Sendil before, but it was great to have him here like that have everyone captive for 2 days. I think the workshop was really one of the highlights of the time here, and it brought so many new people to campus as well as to the archives. I think one of the things that we hope for always from the Obaid Siddiqi Chair is an energy that makes us excited about our work and helps us see our work from a different perspective. And I feel like in loads of really surprising and pleasurable ways that's happened for us. I'm a really nervous speaker, so I've written down stuff, but I'm worried that I won't be able to read my handwriting because I scribbled a bit. But other highlights from the year, apart from the kind of formal, um, the kind of formal events, there's also been so much conversation at lunch, at tea time. You've gone hiking with people from the team. You've taken folks to Baroda to look at the giant maps and to work on the maps. I remember a photograph that you showed in the first lecture of the team working on the map at Baroda, and it was really like an Avengers assemble sort of different kinds of historians and conservators and all kinds of things. And so thank you for letting us be a part of that work. It's been exciting and wonderful. We've also gone on just fun trips like visiting the herbs in this library. Not quite connected, but also somewhat connected to what we do here in strange ways. It's also been an enormous part of our lives, to the point that I was in a meeting with Anjali one day. We were in a meeting with the archivist from the University of Edinburgh, and when the meeting was done, I texted her to say, "Is that Samira in the background of the meeting? Are you in Samira's house?" And she's like, "Yes, I'm in Samira's house." So I don't want to say too much more, because I know you also would prefer that we not get lacrimose here, but I'm not crying. It's just my eyes are just really watery. I have an allergy today. But thank you for caring. Thank you for sharing this year from us. From you we learned so much, including attention to detail, rigor in the way we approach our work, and among many other things, how to build community. And after the talk at NLS, Amel used the phrase high quality when she described your work. Thank you for sharing your deeply exciting and high quality work with us, and I'm very glad that, as you say, like the Terminator, you'll be back. And I guess we will continue to stay in touch, and I really look forward to it. And today we also have the really exciting opportunity to welcome Paromita Vohra to campus. It's a special occasion for me, because I guess I've known Paromita since I was a skinny 25-year-old in a different context, and at some point I worked for Paromita as well. Paromita is also really well known, so maybe I won't do the sort of traditional bio, but I can talk about maybe stuff that we could look forward to over the year. I think so. Paromita has a really wonderful body of writing. There's a long-running, 15-year running column from everything under the sun. On a really wide range of topics, but I remember from a few years ago a column on family archivists. Who in the family decides to take on the role of family archivist, and what are their motivations? And I felt very called out by, by that. Paromita has a really wonderful body of films, including Working Girls, Q2P, Sandra from Bandra, Partners in Crime, which and these span a really wide range of subjects, from copyright to asking questions about what is feminism and what does it mean, what does equitable access to sanitation and public toilets look like. I feel like your gaze is extremely wide, and that's something that we're really excited to have here. We're in a stage at the archives where we've had a really frantic few years of expanding very quickly. We went from literally 0 to 100. We went in a span of about 6 years. We have now over 100 collections, and we're in a stage now where we're trying to look back and reflect and create workflows for how do we stabilize this place and how do we move forward. And I feel like this is a really nice moment to be able to reflect on that with you. There's a playfulness and a curiosity in your work that's just fun and inspiring. And I think there's also a really, I mean, there's a really deep interest in people's lives, not just in their identities, but in personhood and an exploration of that. I think we all really look forward to your work on the Jamal Ara papers and beyond that, to broadly looking at ideas of scientific temper and scientists. And I think one of the things we look forward to is reimagining our own work at the archives, but also our relationship with the public and what that might mean. So thank you. This is really exciting, and look forward to a really great year. Samira, Shashi, Paromita, we'd love it if you would like to, anything that you'd like to share.
So I'm at the point of this story where everyone's thinking, is it gone already? Like, I think we need to get into the Paromita era, like right away. Yeah, it's been an amazing year, and I won't sing the praises of the archives again because it's just been truly extraordinary. It's been so wonderful. There's the Brazil shirt entering the picture. I think what I could do by way of handing over to you, since that's the purpose, is to tell you the things I've enjoyed the most. One whole year of not having to cook. Oh my God, I love the canteen, and I love the canteen staff. I love the ACAD canteen. This is just the best place to hang out, to meet people, to just take a break from your day and just be. And whoever figured this out, this design, it's brilliant. The pool, like when you get to wake up from your apartment and walk like 100 yards and the pool is right there, just fabulous. This absolute jewel of a campus, which is, I mean, we are in the artist garden, but the birds, including one obnoxious barbet who is outside Malige. Make sure you get Daksh to give you a bird tour one of these days. But there are also snakes. This is alleged by many people, not that I have seen any snakes, and I'm very upset about this, so I have to come back to get darshan of the snakes.
You're upset about not having.
I'm
You want to see a snake?
acolyte of snakes.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to be introduced, but no. So I'll have to come back. Yeah, and the architecture of this place, the fact that you can take your laptop and sit at the colonnade, the weather is always lovely. I mean, I could go on and on. So I think you're going to have such an extraordinary time. For me, it was like being in this little bubble connected to the most brilliant, creative, ethical people who, wake up in the morning and look forward to doing what they do. And that's not always the case, especially if you've spent much time in an undergraduate-facing university. It's like there's a lot more complaining than actually looking forward to doing what you do. So it's just been this time. I moved here from the US where, if you live a long time outside the country, you start to feel very depressed and anxious about the state of higher education and research in India. And I came expecting to feel depressed, and it's just extraordinary, this place. And I hope there's sort of ripple effects outwards. I think there are. I know there are. And so much of what you will, I think, encounter, the people, the archives, the students, the scientists. I think all of it is so much a model for what research in higher education in this country should be. Just few words of thanks. Archives folks, friends forever. Shashi, this year would not have been the same. You've supported me in every possible way. The trip to Baroda being one of those, so we made that happen. Friends I've made from among the PIs, and thanks for kind of engaging and for letting me into the whole Jivanu kind of celebration. That was extraordinary. It's such a joy to see that. So grateful to the administrative staff who ironed out some of the most recalcitrant problems of bureaucracy that we encountered. And all the folks who work here, keep the gardens running, the canteens, the security staff, many of whom I've now, developed nodding, friendly relationships with. It's just a happy place. It's in its own very unique way. I think you will really enjoy it.
Very brief because Samira has already enough crying has happened.
Sorry, thank you.
Enough crying has already happened. I said I'll be very brief. So thank you, Samira, for having spent a whole year. It was a fantastic time. I think one of the recent most, I'm not talking about only OS chairs, but all the long-term visitors, I think this is the most memorable one. And in the context of how you interacted with all of us, what kind of activities you were running, and how accommodating you are. All bureaucracy without any complaints. Thank you very much. And Paromita, look forward to your time. As she said, Paromita Vohra. Okay, and hopefully it will be equally visually and equally enjoyable. And thank you very much for accepting our invitation. And we're happy to facilitate to make your stay very good. Thank you. Thank you both.
So I didn't realize I would have to say anything, but
I didn't ask you.
yeah. But first of all, thank you, of course, for having me here. This is incredible. For independent artists, we spend our whole time doing too many things with too many people and driving everybody around us crazy with our crazy schedules. So there's an incredible intellectual luxury about being able to be in a place where you can hear about other people's work and be a little quieter. I mean, maybe those are famous last words. Maybe I won't be a little quieter, and maybe I will make all of you crazy and suck you into my own craziness. I don't know. But it's been also amazing to hear from Samira about her time here and to hear you all talk about what it's been like, because I think for me one of the most important values is friendship. And I think of friendship in a very expansive way. I think of the archive itself as, somebody's like a box full of all the letters you have from your friends that you collect over the years, because it's a kind of curiosity, a relationship between the past and the present, between ourselves and the world. And of course, all of that is embodied in our relationships with each other. So I really hope that in my time here, I'm able to have those friendships, both intellectual, emotional, spiritual, and time spent together, and to learn new things actually together. So thank you very much for having me. Oh, and also, unlike Samira, I love to cook. So I hope I'll be cooking for you all also a little bit while I'm here.